You don't always do the same thing all the time.
That's right, and the works at that time were actually, I was doing views around Grafton, you know, the old pubs, you know, the scenes like that. And when I actually went down there thinking, this is going to be because we'll build a house on 4 acres and those horses and cattle. I'll be a pastor and all this, you know, I'll do all these wonderful things. A week later I thought, if I see another cow, it'll kill me, you know. You've got to be up for different things. So, yeah, anyway, I love the idea of change, and as I said, like, once again, I started off this talk with the artist David Hockney, and even today, you know, in his 80s, he's changing. It could go from grand, fabulous landscapes to just the simplest little feather paintings, you know. And I think that's what it's all about. I'd be ashamed if somebody said, "Oh, I've seen that work. You know, you always do that." No, I want to keep changing. I want to evolve, and there's nothing more wonderful than when somebody purchases the work because you think, "Oh, you know." I really don't want to say what I'm about to say, but I couldn't afford it to buy them. It's great to think that my work means so much to some people, so thank you guys.
I find that they all have stories about the pieces that I've bought from you as well.
Yeah.
And they want to talk about it, and you remember the pieces.
And that's true. And I think, and one of the most important things I think I can say to a client or a prospective customer is when they're asking me about the work, like, that's my take, that's my opinion, or that's the reason. But what you see is your take on the work, you know, which is probably going to be entirely different. And that's wonderful, you know. That's how it can sort of break barriers and get through. Isn't that a great thing, you know, that you can, as I said, not doing anything, but you get that into your head and you can't rest until you've completed what you set out to do. And God knows what I had in mind, you know. I mean, obviously it was based with how would it end up, and that's it.
How long have you been with Margaret now?
Must be nearly 20 years.
Over 20 years. Over 20 years, yeah.
So time flies, you know.
Yeah.
Here we are.
I used to see his work when we had to go in Emporium, and I'd drive home that way or I'd drive that way. Oh, I love that work. I love that work. So when I heard the name, I thought, oh my goodness, no, we have to have John.
Yeah, and one thing I've always held true to is that an artist must follow what's in there, you know. Every artist changes, and you don't want to be like just like a conveyor belt where you keep on dishing out the same thing. And then when I stand back from a work, and it's got to work. It's got to be a true work of art, you know. That's the whole thing, you know. And if I'm in any way not satisfied, I'll call on the trips. And if my wife, Dolores, doesn't give me the answer I'm looking for, it's no good. For instance, you know, you don't want to hear, I think it's paid a crop. Doesn't happen often, but it does happen. And what do I do then? I'll stand back, I'll reassess, but I'll go by my own judgment. And if I end up agreeing with that, I'll simply turn it upside down and start again. Easiest thing in the world to do.
Sometimes we get contemporary artists, and one of the artists came and said, oh, that's up the wrong way. I thought, oh, is it? You know, sometimes you really don't know, and it works sometimes turned upside down.
It does, but the one thing I found, and I can guarantee it, if I ever get any works back, you know, if something's been sitting for a long time, I'll take that back. I can't guarantee as soon as the brush hits that canvas or board, I'll get a phone call from the gallery. Oh, John, have you still got that work? Somebody's looking for it.
Yeah. It always happens.
And my wife will say, Mark, why do you paint other beautiful pieces of it? But, you know, it happens. And what's more wonderful to have a piece of canvas or board that's already framed and ready to go.
And the wren, I know this is the one.
Well, there I was driving down from the Gold Coast with my wife taking me to work, and a beautiful little red sports car passes. And I was behind it, you know, and I thought, oh wait, look at the bloody red wren, and you know, the block capitals as on the red, R-E-D, R-E-N, like missing the W, but perfect one. I've got to do it better. Well, in the place where my daughter lived down at Oval Cove, on the Oval Cove, it's site itself, there's loads of blue wrens, you know, the tiny blue fairy wrens.
They're really pretty.
And I could watch them forever, you know, doing that dance and that, so I generally paint things from memory, but I thought I'll have to look this up online, so I went online. I've seen the red wren, which is actually a bird that is a native of New South Wales. So I just switched the colours for the blue one and done what I thought, you know, the red wren's bouncing around, and each section is just, you know, a different day, so to speak, when you're seeing them doing their own thing. But beautiful creatures, and yeah, it was interesting, like getting back to painting nature itself, you know, with the green grass, very green grass, and the birds and what have you. So yeah.
Then you went to the moon.